Good afternoon. We will today cover one more classifier, and it's known as naive Bayes classifier. It is a probability theory based classifier. Till now, we have only come across probability when we are talking about uh, regression problem, logistic regression problem, where we say that hypothesis function represents the probability of the output being either label 1 or label 0. So before we enter, but this particular classifier is entirely based on probability theory, which was proposed by Bayes in somewhere 1800 century. And it's called naive. Naive is something which is simplistic or innocent theory. So it has got some assumptions which are simplistic. But however, this works very well for many practical problems, and hence it's very popular. So before we enter, let's have some refresh of the probability. So I'm just giving you the polling form. So you have on the screen some set of red balls and green balls. You have to tell, if you pick randomly a ball, what is its probability of selecting a red ball. So I opened just refresh. This is something maybe 12 standard or 10 standard maths. Okay, so I got 4 responses. So I'm happy that all 4 of them are giving first options. 4 out of, that is a probability is 4 out of 10. So there are total 10 balls, out of which there are 4 red balls. So the probability of selecting the red ball is 4 by 10. Now, let's extend this particular case to the type of problem we'll be facing in machine learning. So in machine learning, we will have some kind of, instead of the red ball and green ball, you will have some kind of feature. So here is color of ball is one feature. You may have some more features, and then you have to predict what will happen for a certain combination of features. So let's see the next case. Okay, so in this case, let me first explain what this case is. So this particular case represents a probability of some observations which are done about when people play tennis. The features which define the probability for playing tennis, or the climate for playing tennis, is divided into 4 features. So this particular data set has got 4 features. One is the outlook, whether it is sunny or overcast or rainy. What is the temperature outside, whether it's hot or cool or mild. Third thing is the humidity of the climate, whether it's high humidity, normal humidity, and the wind, whether it's strong wind or weak wind. So based on these 4 features, somebody has collected data when people are playing the tennis, and that is available in the last column as a label. So there is a binary classification problem. The problem what we are trying to deal, which will subsequently, same problem we'll be discussing in this particular class, is how do we predict for a given combination of features, how do we predict whether there will be tennis game played on that day or no? How many people will turn out? So let's say you are representing a sports club and you want to know how many people will come on a particular day, and then accordingly you have to plan your some activities. So in such case, one would like to predict for any combination of these 4 features, what would be the probability of people preferring to play or not preferring to play based on what is data is available. So we'll be discussing this problem in detail, but at present we are just taking a simple some For doing those, developing the model, we need to do some calculations. So one part of this calculation is the question what you see on the screen. So here you have got 14 samples or 14 observations for different types of days. So each row represents a type of day. So D1 is sunny, hot, with high humidity and weak wind. And it is observed that on such a pattern of day, the tennis is not played, and so on. So all 14 days data is available to you. Now, one of the calculation that we need is to predict, we need to find out what is the probability of people playing the tennis, irrespective of whatever is the day. So that is what this question is asking. So what is the probability of people playing tennis on any type of day? So irrespective of whatever type of day, what is the probability of people playing tennis? So again, I opened the polling form. Oh, I have not opened it yet. Okay. Okay, so I opened the polling form and you have to give your answer. So I think 4 people are very fast in giving responses and remaining people are just observing the proceedings. Yes, everybody has given the 9 by 14. So if you count the number of yes which are marked in red here, so there are total 9 in numbers and there are total 14 samples are there. So 9 yes samples out of 14 total. So that becomes probability of people playing tennis. So this is the overall probability. So based on this 14 days probability, we can say that any type of day, it is more likely that people play tennis rather than not play tennis based on this observation. So if you want to make a very, very simple model, you would ignore all the features and say that whichever label has got highest probability. So in this case, the label of yes is having highest probability, that is 9 by 14. And the label of no, that is probability of not playing tennis, is smaller than that. So if you want to make very simple model, then you will say that any type of day people will play tennis and it will hold true for 9 out of 14 times based on the observation. So if you have a very huge database and if you find that one particular label is dominating, then such kind of simplistic assumption will be practically okay. So that is what we call as a common sense. So we also take many of the decisions because we always see sun rising from the east. So we always assume that it will always rise from the east on the next day also. So that is something which we know that something 100% okay, but something like 99% okay, also we take decision without thinking much about it. So that is very, very super naive model. And however, we'll not be dealing with that. We'll be going further. One more calculation that we require. So I find 5 people have given responses to this question and all 5 of them correct. So that's good. And there is one more calculation that we want to do. So for that, I'm not asking for the form. I want one of you to answer it either through chat box or through voice. So in this case, the question is again related to probability. So here we are asking, what is the probability of outlook? Outlook is the first column, being sunny on the days of playing tennis. So this is another calculation that we would be using in the Bayes classifier that we're going to discuss next. So here you may require to think a little more, not much. 2 by 14. Two by 9, 2 by 9, 2 by 9. Okay, so everybody is giving 2 by 9. So that's correct because we are saying that on the days of playing tennis, which means we are talking about yes for the last column. So there are total 1 to 9 yes are there. And out of those 9 yes, the outlook is sunny only on 2 days. So there is only 2 days where the sunny climate is there. So which means that 2 by 9 is the correct answer. So these two calculations that we just now did are the only one which are required for the Bayes classifier. So using these calculations, we can calculate probability for any combination of these four features, as we can see later. So once you have sufficient amount of data which represents all types of patterns that can exist, then for a new pattern, you can predict using the Bayes classifier what is the probability of that pattern having a certain label. So it is a classifier, so it predicts what is the label for a given set of features. And here the set of features are we are considering as a discrete variables. So they are not continuous variables. However, the Bayes classifier can be applied also for continuous variables as well. Although in this course we are not discussing that, but we are discussing only problems where the variables are discrete or they are in steps or in bins. And we are discussing on the classifier for discrete variables. So all features are discrete and labels obviously are anyway discrete. Okay, why this particular thing is popular? Because of its simplicity. So the type of problem that I just now said is like this. Suppose a day is sunny, cool, high humidity and strong wind. What is the probability that people will play tennis on this particular day? So this is the problem which we want to solve, and at the end of this course we'll solve this problem. And for that we'll use the probability theory, and it is based on the theory which was proposed by Bayes. That is the name of the mathematician who proposed this theory, and then based on some assumptions it can be applied to do simpler calculation. That means if you use actual Bayes theorem, then the calculations become more complicated. However, with some simplification, those are the naive simplification or naive assumptions. Whatever model we get is known as naive Bayes classifier, and that is what we'll be using. The assumptions that this classifier does are as follows. So every feature over the samples follows the Gaussian curve. So that is assumption. So we are assuming that if you plot the possibility of day being sunny, you will find that it will follow a normal distribution, and out of given number of days there is a fixed pattern in which the sunny days will vary with respect to non-sunny days. So that is the normal distribution theory which you already know. So that is one assumption which is true for many of the real life scenarios. So that is not a problem much in this assumption. The next assumption is something which is more naive, or it is something which is not true in many of the cases. That assumption is that every feature is conditionally independent of other features. So we are saying here that the day being sunny is and people playing tennis is independent of day being humid and people playing tennis. So the conditional probability or the interdependence of the different features is not considered in this particular case. So if the day is sunny and people are going for playing tennis, that particular decision by the people is independent of whether the day is having humidity or day is having wind. So we are considering that the people take decision only on the basis of one particular feature, or a second feature, or a third feature, or a fourth feature. So all the decisions are irrespective of the each other. So that is something which is naive, or something which is high simplification. That is that what gives its name as a naive classifier. In most of the situation, those assumptions are not true. However, this particular model works on an average, gives very good result for most of the real life scenarios. And why it works, some logic given to that is because Gaussian distribution is true for many of the real life processes. That is one point. And second thing is that it that is, we are assuming that variables or the features are independent of each other. So that although being untrue, if you, for a certain class of problems, that particular assumption doesn't make much of a difference, especially if you have very large data sets. So the problems having very large data set, such as document type classification or email spam filtering, where we have very huge amount of data. So document classification is based on type of text, that is what we call natural language processing. So given entire book to you and a set of words that that particular book contains, you classify it as it's some theory book or some fiction or crime story or something like that. And spam filtering we already know. So each of them have huge number of data and data set. The number of features are very high. And in such situations, the naive Bayes classifier works pretty good. Okay, so the cornerstone of this theory is the Bayes theorem. So it is a probability theorem. So let's understand this theorem clearly. So what this theorem says is we want to predict what is the label. So that is what I'm calling as yk. So this notation is P is the probability, and within bracket we have the situation for which we want to calculate the probability. So here the vertical bar represents the condition under which we are predicting the probability. So we want to have probability of yk. So let's say probability of playing tennis. So here yk is either play tennis or not play tennis. So that is our yk, or the label, given x. So here x is a feature vector which represents the some pattern of the feature. So given for example a sunny day and so on, so on, and so on. So for that particular pattern, what is the probability that somebody will play tennis? So taking the same example so that it is easier to understand. So if it is a binary, then your yk will have only two numbers. If it is very multi classification problem, then k will have number of. So you may have 3 or 4. So this k represents the count of the labels that the problem may have. So let's, for simplification, consider only two labels. That is a playing tennis, not playing tennis, and x represents for a given pattern. So this is known as the posterior probability. That is what we want to know. So from machine learning perspective, we are interested in knowing this posterior probability, that is given some data some prior data given, what is the posterior probability of predicting something. So here we are predicting yk. What will be the value of yk given some combination of x? Now this particular thing is given as a in terms of three probabilities. So in order to predict what is this probability, you have to calculate three probabilities. The first probability is what is the probability of having this particular pattern for which we are looking for. So what is this probability given the condition which we want to predict? So if somebody wants to play tennis, what is the probability? In that scenario, there is the day will be sunny and humidity will be high and wind will be low. So this particular thing is what we are trying to predict. Okay, so given the one of the parameter that we require to calculate this left hand side, which is of our interest, is first term is what is the probability of having this pattern in the data that is available to us, that is prior probability, that the pattern for which we are trying to predict, how much is the probability of having that pattern on the day on which you are playing tennis. So taking the example of the same thing. So it is like the third quiz that we took. So if somebody is playing tennis, what is the probability that that day would be sunny? So instead of only one variable sunny, here we are talking about the day being sunny, humidity being low, wind being high. So for this particular pattern, what would be the probability? Means what is the probability of having this pattern when somebody is playing the tennis? So this is different than what we are talking here. So this is probability of playing tennis when some pattern is existing, and here we are talking about probability of having some pattern when somebody is playing tennis. And the second term that we require is the probability of playing tennis itself. So that is the second quiz that we solved. So given a particular data, so this is also based on the training data or the prior to prediction, whatever information is available to you, based on that we are talking here. So this is the probability of playing tennis. So it is simple. What is the probability of playing tennis? So which can be very easily calculated. The problem arises in the first term, how to calculate this particular thing. The last thing is the denominator is the probability of having that pattern itself. That means that particular pattern, what is the probability that pattern will exist in the entire data set, irrespective of somebody is playing tennis or not playing tennis. How many times the day would be sunny and wind will be strong and humidity will be high? So how many times such things exist? So this particular three terms, if we know these three probabilities, then we can predict what is the probability of playing tennis on a particular combination of climate. So that is what is explained here. So PYK, as I already explained, is prior probability of label YK. What is the probability of playing tennis, irrespective of whatever is the condition of the day? The PX is the denominator. So that is prior probability of training data patterns. So whatever pattern we are trying to investigate, how many times that pattern can exist, irrespective of whatever is the outcome. So this particular term is mathematically given here. So we did not worry much about this parameter, because this parameter is independent of whatever label we are trying to predict. The way this Bayes theorem we will use in machine learning model is that we will, assuming that we have a binary problem, whether to play tennis or not to play tennis, what we'll do, we'll use the Bayes theorem for a given pattern, that is a sunny day, strong wind, and high humidity. We want to predict whether somebody will play tennis or not play tennis. So in order to do that, we will calculate two probabilities. First, the probability of playing tennis, that is yk equal to, let's say yk equal to 1, which is equivalent to playing tennis, and that we'll calculate using this theorem. And second, we'll calculate what is the probability of not playing tennis, so y equal to 0. So we have to calculate first probability of y equal to 0 and second probability of y equal to 1 for the same pattern. And whichever probability is higher, that is the label which we will give. So suppose we find that out of these two probabilities, the probability of playing tennis is higher, then we'll say that for that particular pattern or that particular x feature vector, the label is y equal to 1 or playing tennis. So that is how we would use that. Without and in that particular calculation, only the numerator values matter. The denominator value is just a probability of having a particular pattern in the entire data set. So that doesn't influence what decision you are going to take. The decision which influences or the predictability of the model is only the numerator. So suppose in the sense, when we are using this Bayes theorem in our calculations, we need to know only numerator values. If you know what is the probability of having certain pattern when somebody plays tennis, and what is the probability of playing tennis itself, then we can calculate what is the probability of playing tennis when that pattern is existing. So that is the way this particular thing works. So I already have been talking in terms of the example. So here, for example, the x vector could be any combination of outlook, temperature, humidity, and wind. So given that particular combination, so for example, the combination may be overcast, high, hot. So this is already in the data set, and data set says that the probability is yes, but you may have the same pattern in the data set where the probability is no. So you have to first calculate for a given pattern, means how many times the pattern exists for given yk. So now obviously, if you have some patterns which are existing in your database, then it is easier to do this calculation. But if you have some combination which doesn't exist at all in your training data set. So for example, if you have only these three things and you want to calculate probability of playing tennis when this, instead of hot temperature, it is a cold temperature for which you don't have any data. So how do you predict in that particular case? So that is what needs that naive assumption. So in order to calculate the probability, the first term in probability, that is a px given condition y, we have to do some assumption. So that is what this entire model is based on, that assumption that we are considering that each of these features, that is outlook, temperature, humidity, wind, they are independent of each other, in which case this first term px y, it can be calculated uh, just by using the pattern of the data. So you don't require the entire pattern, that is the high humidity, high wind. A particular pattern need not exist in a data set, but based on individual feature patterns, that is how many days sunny and yes, playing yes, how many times high humidity and playing yes. So by getting the individual feature frequencies, we can calculate the overall pattern probability. It will become more clear as we take example. The takeaway from this particular slide is that in order to use the Bayes theorem, we have to calculate what is the probability, means what we are interested in is calculating what is the probability of certain thing like playing tennis when there is a certain climatic condition. For doing this, we calculate only the numerator part. So we'll use only the numerator part of this equation to calculate two probabilities. One is a probability of pattern for given label and probability of that label itself. And we will calculate using the Bayes theorem probability for two cases. If it is a binary classification problem, one is the probability of y equal to 0 and another is probability of y equal to 1. Whichever probability is higher, that is the prediction of our model. If it is a multi-classifier, then you will have to calculate for each label probability, and whichever is having highest probability, that is the one which will work. So let's take an quiz to understand what we are talking about. Okay, so here you can see the Bayes rule is given here. As I said here, for doing the calculations, you don't require the denominator, only the numerator part is required. So we want to predict what is the probability of playing tennis, y equal to 1. And you have been given the data which pertains to the numerator of the Bayes theorem. And you have to tell, based on Bayes theorem, on the pattern which is given, sunny, cool, normal and weak, whether one would play tennis or one would not play tennis. I think I did not clear last time's responses. Okay, I deleted all the responses. I don't know whether you had given your inputs or no. So if you are given, once again give the responses. So the Bayes rule is shown on the right hand side, means this is the Bayes rule. And the information which you require is given here. So till now, two people have given their inputs. So maybe others are confused. Maybe I will explain once more that we want to predict the probability of y equal to 1 using Bayes theorem when the pattern is given something. So that pattern is not important here. The terms which we require for the calculations, that is a pxyk and pyk, are given here. So there are two terms. So this is corresponding to y equal to 1 and this is corresponding to y equal to 1. So both these are equal to y equal to 1 and the remaining terms are corresponding to y equal to 0. So when you are using Bayes theorem, you have to do two calculations or you have to calculate two probabilities if it is a binary classification problem. One is the probability of y equal to 1 using Bayes theorem and another is probability of y equal to 0 for the using the Bayes theorem. And as I said, the denominator term we need not consider because that is same for both the types or both the label types. Okay, so the count doesn't go beyond 5. So out of 12 people, 5 people are active. That is only thing I can see. Okay, so out of 5 people, there are majority, 3 people have given option 1. So which is correct. So if you calculate the probability, so that is the term. So for y equal to 1, the probability will come as 0.8 multiplied by 0.5. So that will be equal to zero point 0.4. Ignoring, we are not considering px because that is identical for both the calculations. And for y equal to 0, the calculation will be probability is equal to 0.1 multiplied by 0.5. So that is 0.05. So probability of having y equal to 1 is 0.4, which is higher than 0.05. So that is why the first answer is the correct one. So the 3 people who have given yes, the first option is the correct answer. Okay, so what we got from this example is that if we know these probabilities appears simple, that one can use this model very easily. The catch lies in calculating the term which is shown here. So as we have seen, the probability of having calculating probability of having y equal to 1, it can be very well calculated like we did in the second quiz. So we know how many yes are there and how many total samples are there. So just take a ratio that gives you the value of probability y equal to 1 or y equal to 0. So those will always, if for a binary problem, they will always add to 1. However, the problem lies or the catch lies in calculating the probability for a given pattern. So what is the probability for this particular pattern will exist when people are playing tennis? So what is the probability that day will be sunny, temperature will be cool, the humidity will be normal and wind is weak when people are playing tennis? So that particular combination may not exist in in your data set at all. So how do you deal with this kind of situation is what is the question. So that question is solved by making the assumption that each of these features are independent of each other, conditionally independent of each other. Here conditionally means condition based on what your decision we are taking. So the assumption which simplifies us is shown here, or the implications of that assumptions are shown here. So we have already seen that we want to calculate probability which depends only on the numerator. So the numerator term only is written here. We have dropped the denominator term, which is same for all the labels. So hence it did not be considered in the calculation. So what essentially we want to calculate is product of two probabilities. The first term is probability of having a certain pattern given a certain label. So that is this particular term, which is we want to calculate. In order to calculate that, we make the assumption that all features are conditionally independent. So that particular assumption leads us to some simplification, and that is as follows. So here, the term which we are trying to evaluate is what is the probability of having certain pattern when there is certain label. So what is the probability of having a certain pattern of a climate when we want to play the tennis? So when we want to try to calculate that, it can be done by probability theorem as follows. So this particular left hand side can be written as probability of having first feature. So let's say first feature is outlook. So what is the probability that outlook will be sunny when the remaining terms are there? So playing tennis, yes, and humidity is whatever, and so on, so on, so on. Multiplied by probability of having the remaining pattern. So except x1, all the remaining pattern with playing tennis. And when we are considering that x1 is conditionally independent of other terms, so what it means here we are talking about conditional probability. So this term, what you see on the left hand on this square boundary is the conditional probability of x1 when there is something of x2. That is, what is the probability of outlook being sunny when humidity is something, wind is something, playing is yes. So we are saying that this x1 depends only on yk, it doesn't depend on any of the remaining terms. So this particular square term, square boundary term simply becomes probability of x1 when yk is happening. And the same process we can extend for the remaining terms. So what is remaining now is x2, x up to x10 up to yk. So this can be reduced to p2. So what effectively we finally get is the probability which we are trying to find out when the features are conditionally independent is given as individual probabilities when individual conditional probabilities. So what is the probability of day being sunny when you are playing tennis? What is the probability of temperature being hot when you are playing tennis? What is the probability that you will have high wind, strong wind when you are playing tennis? So if you find out all these four probabilities, you multiply them, you will get the probability of a given pattern. So your pattern could be anything. Pattern could be sunny and strong wind and so on. So for that pattern, the probability can be calculated by multiplying individual probabilities of a single features at all. Like we did at the beginning of this lecture, we calculated what is the probability of day being sunny when you are playing tennis. So that we could calculate, means you could calculate even before understanding what is the Bayes theorem. So that could be calculated. So repeating that procedure for each of the features, we can calculate the individual conditional probabilities, and multiplying them, we will get the patterns probability, and that is what we require for Bayes theorem. So probability of a given pattern can be expressed in terms of probabilities, product of probabilities of individual features. And the last term is pyk, so that is relatively simple to calculate, that we previously did. We'll take one numerical example which will illustrate this particular things. But before that, we'll just formally write this thing in proper manner. So what we did on the previous slide, I'm just writing it here in more mathematical terms. So this Pxy, which is more critical for us, is written now as product of individual probabilities that we developed in the previous slide. The Pyk term is same here, so there is no difference here. And Px term is anyway will be dropping in the next final. Our model doesn't require this Px term. So although we can calculate it, we did not spend time in doing those calculations. So that will not going to affect our decision. So this term would be dropped, and only determining term is the numerator. So here you will find this symbol. So this symbol is capital Pi. So it is used for product notation. So just like we use sigma for calculating term of xi. So here I equal to 1 to n, xi means x1 plus x2 plus up to xn. Similarly, pi xi for I equal to 1 to n would indicate x1 multiplied by x2 multiplied by x3 up to xn. So that using that notation, you can write this numerator term as shown here. So what you see here is the product term is written in the pi notation as shown here. And the classification rule which we are interested in developing for any new pattern. So for a given pattern, what is the probability? So for a given climatic condition, what is the probability of playing tennis is given by calculating. For each level, you have to calculate the probability, and whichever probability is higher, that is the one which wins, or that is the level which wins. So that is written in the mathematical term or symbolic terms as follows. So this is just this probability term remains as it is. So that is Pyk multiplied by product of individual conditional probabilities. So this you will calculate for each of the labels. So for y equal to 0, you will calculate. Y equal to 1, you will calculate. Remember that these two probabilities for y equal to 0 and y equal to 1, the conditional probabilities, they will not add up to 1 like the other case. So we have to calculate them independently. For y equal to 0, one calculation, y equal to 1, another calculation. And this argmax or argument max, it indicates that out of this number of, in the case of binary, the two calculations you are doing, whichever calculation is higher, so that is our argument max. So the index of that calculation will be your index of your label. So if y equal to 1 is winning or is having higher probability, then y1 will become, or y equal to 1 will become your label. If y equal to 0 is having higher probability, it is the argument max, then that will become your label. So that is how this symbol means. So it essentially you have to calculate the product of overall probability irrespective of climatic pattern in the example we are talking, and second is the product of probabilities. So using this, we can calculate what is the probability of y equal to 0, y equal to 1, or if it is a multi-classifier, each of these levels we can calculate, and whichever is highest probability, that particular index or that particular label wins, or that becomes prediction of your model. So that is how this particular Bayes classifier works, naive Bayes classifier works. Although the assumption made there is a little innocent, but the classifier by itself is not innocent. I mean, in a sense, it works for many important problems, like the email filter that you see, which classifies as spam or not spam. It essentially works on naive Bayes classifier, or at least at the beginning it was working on that. I'm sure now they have much more advanced models working on it. Okay, so let's take a numerical problem for this particular case where it will become, your understanding will become more clear. So we are taking again the same data set, that is we are having data about 14 days where you are having different days, different climatic patterns are there, and the last column indicates what is the decision taken by the players, whether to play tennis or not to play tennis. And somebody wants to predict that today the day is sunny, the temperature is cool, the humidity is high, and the wind is strong. So will most of the players will come for play or they will not come to play. So if you look for here, you will not find this particular combination, sunny and cool, is not existing anywhere in this database. So we want to, it may exist or in this particular case, it doesn't exist. Even if it exists, we want to predict whether it will, the label, what will be the label for this particular pattern. So that is the problem. So we'll use the Navi Bayes classifier or the model to find out this pattern. So as we say, we have to calculate what is the probability of yk. So we need to do two calculations. One is probability of yk, and second is conditional probability of having certain variable xi when that yk is existing. So here yk can be play tennis, which I'm calling as 1, or yk equal to 0. So for yk equal to 1, you have to calculate these two things. And yk equal to 0 also, you have to calculate these two things. Then take product of these two terms. Whichever is higher, that is the one which is going to do the calculation. So in order to do that, first you have to calculate what is the probability of playing tennis, and irrespective of climatic condition, and what is the probability of not playing tennis. So these two calculations can be very easily done, or rather you did it at the beginning of the class. And the second thing is calculating for each of the feature and for each of its category. So each of the, like if you take outlook could be sunny, outlook could be overcast, outlook could be rainy. So for each of this, you have to calculate probability separately. For yk equal to 0, that is not playing tennis, or yk equal to 1, that is a playing tennis. So you have to make a table where all these probabilities are tabulated. So let's look at this particular table, which is there on the next slide. So the first thing is a simple. So what is the probability? So this is what you see on the bottom side. This is PYK. So this is probability of playing irrespective of climatic condition. So how many yeses are there in the data set? So there are, this we already solved in the quiz. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 9 by 14. And the probability of not playing irrespective of climatic pattern is 5 by 14. So that is just 1 minus the other one. For the binary problem, you can simply subtract and get. For multiple classification, you have to calculate n minus 1 labels, and the nth label you can calculate by subtraction. So this PYK is easier to get. In order to get the product conditional probabilities, you have to calculate for each of the feature what is the probability. So let's consider the outlook. That is the first column of this particular table. So there are two things we have to calculate. So yk can have value yes, that is a play tennis, or yk can have value no, that is not playing tennis. So this is yk equal to 1, and this is yk equal to 0. Remember that for both we have to calculate probabilities. So both we need to calculate. So let's consider, we are considering play equal to yes, and what is the probability that the day is sunny and you are playing tennis. So this is similar to the third quiz what we did. So we have to see how many days you are playing tennis, and out of that, how many days the outlook is sunny. So we already have seen that the days on which you are playing tennis is 9 numbers. So denominator is 9, and numerator is out of those playing days, how many days are sunny. So you have to count how many days are sunny. So here, out of these yes days, which are marked in red for convenience, so this is sunny day and this is sunny day. So this becomes 2 by 9. So let's see how many overcast days are there. So out of those playing days, how many days are overcast? So overcast days, if you count, you will find that there is one overcast day, second, third, and fourth. So there are 4 overcast day out of 9 uh, playing days. So the probability becomes 4 by 9. So similar calculation means for every feature and its subtype, you will have to do this calculation, and you can verify that offline. So you have to do these calculations for each of the terms, and you have to calculate what is the conditional probability with playing tennis yes and with playing tennis no. So for each of the case, you have to calculate so many calculations. So we'll take one randomly something. So let's say what is the probability of not playing tennis when humidity is high. So we are now looking at not playing tennis. So which means that we are looking at the black things or black label things. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are total 5 not playing days. So the denominator is 5, out of which the humidity is high and how many days. So humidity is high on one day, second, third, and fourth. So there are 4 days out of 5 non-playing days on which humidity is high. So probability of not playing tennis, or rather probability of humidity being high when you are not playing tennis, is 4 by 5. So that is how each of these individual patterns are calculated. Now once you have this table ready, for any random combination of the features, you can now calculate what is the most probable label, or whether you will play tennis or not play tennis in this particular case. So in general, this technique can be adopted for any problem. Only this number of combinations that you have to work out will keep on increasing. If you have large number of labels, then this will become more tedious, and that is where the computer comes to your help. So let's now solve our problem. So we have been given certain pattern, and that for that pattern we want to predict. So we want to know when the day is sunny, cool, high humidity and strong wind, whether one would play tennis or one would not play tennis. So those calculations are shown on the next table. So we are looking for sunny, cool, high humidity and strong wind. The we need remember that we have to calculate 2 probabilities, one for playing tennis and one for not playing tennis. So on the left hand side you have parameters for playing tennis. So these are the playing equal to yes, and on the right hand side you will require all the parameters that you require for not playing. So what we require for making the decision is the product of probabilities when yk equal to yes, so that is playing tennis, and for each of the individual parameters. So when day is sunny and parameter is yes, what is the probability? When playing is yes and temperature is cool, what is the probability? So there will be 4 terms here. Since there are 4 features, there will be 4 terms which will be coming here. So whatever those terms required, so those I have listed here. So what we require is sunny and yes. So sunny and yes. We require cool and yes. So cool and yes. So these numbers are taken from the previous slide. Then we'll require high humidity and yes. So you have high humidity and yes. And you have strong wind and yes. So from the previous table, these numbers are picked up. And we also required what is the probability, overall probability of playing. So that is 9 by 14, which we have previously seen. So these 5 numbers are required to calculate what is the probability of playing. Similarly, for not playing, you require 5 numbers. So this is sunny and no, cool and no, high and no, strong and no, and the no. So using this particular combination, we can do the calculations. So the calculations here are shown on this two lines. So probability of yes with the new pattern. So x new is this pattern, the unknown pattern or the new pattern which has come. So which is the product of first the overall probability multiplied by the conditional probabilities of the four features. So there are 1, 2, 3 and 4 features which were calculated here. So in short it is product of all these 5 terms. So that comes out to be 0.0053. And probability for no, so that is a product of all right hand side term, it comes out to be 0.0206. So as we can see, this number is higher. So that means probability of not playing on this particular combination is higher. So that is how we say that for the given pattern, the classification label becomes no. So on this day, the model will predict that one would not play tennis. Just to summarize, what we did here is by making assumption that all the features of your problem situation are independent of each other, we can calculate from your training data sets. Your training data set will have all the features and corresponding output or corresponding label. So for every feature and label combination, we have to calculate the conditional probability. So that will be a huge table that we have to make, similar to what we did in the for this problem. And using these conditional probabilities and the overall probability of the label, that is playing tennis, yes, what is the overall probability and other way. By using this entire table, we can find out for any combination of the um, features, what is the probability can be calculated by using the naive Bayes model. And this particular model is also available in sklearn, as we already know, and that is Gaussian Navier Bayes or Gaussian NB is the library function which you can use for modeling this particular thing. So remember that here we are considering the problem to have all discrete variables. All features are discrete and all labels are also discrete. But it can be, this particular theory can be extended to continuous variables as well. So that is extension of this particular model. But for simple understanding, this particular model is good enough. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this session where we have seen one more classifier. So in this particular course, we have given a lot of emphasis on classifier, and there are a variety of classifiers we have seen with different logic. So we initially started with logistic regression. So there we had used the logistic function hypothesis to do the classification. Then we have k nearest neighbor. So that is non-parametric. So incidentally, the naive Bayes also you find there are no thetas, there are no parameters involved here. So it is entirely based on the data, just like k nearest neighborhood, where we are just depending on the data. There is no model parameter. So this is also the naive Bayes is also a non-parametric model. So we second model we say is now KNN. I think before that we also did neural network. So neural network classifier is the third one which we have seen. Then the fourth one is the support vector machine, which we did last week. And today we did the naive Bayes, that is the fifth one. And tomorrow we'll be doing the decision tree, which is the sixth classifier. So in this course, we'll be looking at 6 types of classifier, and each classifier has got its different advantage and disadvantage. Yeah, so here we come to end of this session. So any questions you are having? Okay, so if there are no questions, then we'll stop here for today.